Of her as I do. It wasn't easy for me to give up the leadership of the foundation, but in such capable hands, it's made the transition very, very easy. So I know that a lot of you are aware of the depth of her compassion and kindness, and I, for one, am grateful for all that she has done for all of you. The task that I have been charged with tonight is first of all to talk about myself, only from the standpoint as a lead-in to the formation of the foundation. But before I do, there's a couple people that I would like to introduce to you. First of all, if you are a myocarditis researcher, would you please raise your hand? Thank you, myocarditis researchers. Who are going to find the answers that lead to diagnoses and treatments and cures of tomorrow. So if you have a chance, introduce yourselves to them after the dinner and say thank you to them. The next person that I would like to introduce to you is Mr. Jeff Grant. When I was diagnosed with giant cell myocarditis, he's laughing. When I was diagnosed a number of years ago, there was a website, and only one website, that he had started, and it was called gcminfo.org, and he and Dr. Cooper had put it together. So in 2001, when I was diagnosed, he was the person I spoke to. And I have to tell you, that experience of having someone in the world who understood this disease from the standpoint of a patient, had someone that I could relate to, was such a comfort to me, and it led to Dr. Cooper and I starting the foundation. But let me backtrack just a little bit and let me tell you a little bit about my story as a lead-in to my presentation tomorrow. I was 49 years old, and I had retired from 29 years as a practicing nurse. And I had decided to devote the rest of my life to doing something about AIDS in Africa. I thought I was pretty uniquely prepared for that because I had done critical care nursing, I had done outpatient nursing, I had done clinical research in the area of AIDS, I had done school nursing, so I had a lot of education and experience that I thought that some nonprofit might find valuable, and they might be able to use me and place me in a short-term mission trip type of project in Africa. That was my life goal and my life dream. When I was in graduate school, probably 20 years before that, every paper I wrote on AIDS, so I was preparing for my retirement then. So that's what I thought I was going to do, but apparently God had a different plan. A group called drawing a blank.
Save the Children.
Save the Children. Thank you very much, my husband. Save the Children invited me to go to Africa with them, and the last obstacle to my going to Africa was the immunizations, which was typhoid and Hep A, which the CDC required in order for me to travel to that part of the world. I had the immunization 6 weeks before the date of travel, as required by the CDC. Went out to lunch with a girlfriend, and 2 hours later my heart started to misbehave. My heart was beating forcefully, my heart was beating irregularly, and my heart was beating too fast. Now, part of my experience in nursing was being a critical coronary care nurse. So I said, oh, it must be menopause. I was 49 years old. I had no recognition at all that I was in heart failure, or in the beginning stages of heart failure, or that it was something profoundly wrong with me because I was an athlete. I was crewing on Long Island Sound 5 nights a week, and it was the most strenuous, the most wonderful thing I'd ever done in my life. I played all kinds of sports. My whole life was an avid tennis player, walked 20 miles a week, so I was not expecting heart disease of any kind. I mean, you just don't see it coming. In any event, within a week, I had coded a number of times, which means I flatlined, and I was transferred between several different hospitals. At the second hospital, they made the diagnosis of viral myocarditis, and they put in a defibrillator because I coded 3 times one morning. And they sent me home, even though I was in heart failure. I was getting IV Lasix, and I'm a nurse, so I know you don't give IV Lasix unless someone is in heart failure. So I went home in less than 24 hours. I was back in the local emergency room in cardiogenic shock. The local hospital wanted to send me back to the heart hospital. This was a renowned heart hospital, except when I say that, it was a hospital that specialized in cardiovascular disease, not a hospital that specialized in inflammatory heart disease. So the cardiovascular disease heart center refused to take me back as a patient. They told my husband I wouldn't live through the night, but if I did, then the only possibility that I had for survival was to get to a heart transplant center. So the next day I did survive, and the next day I went by EMT to Columbia University, which is in New York, which is a heart transplant center. Right away, the doctor who was caring for me knew that it was giant cell myocarditis. He knew because when he was practicing in Germany, he had a patient with the same disease who was roughly my age, who was on the transplant list, but who died before receiving a heart. So he was familiar with the disease, and he knew right away what it was. They did a biopsy to confirm it, and as soon as he confirmed it, he called his friend and his colleague, Dr. Les Cooper, at the Mayo Clinic, because he knew that all the literature, and maybe I'm making a sweeping generalization here, but a lot of the literature, publications on giant cell were done by Dr. Cooper. And Dr. Cooper recommended a treatment protocol as a bridge to transplant so that I would live long enough to receive a transplant. A cure was never a possibility. So they placed me on the transplant list, and I was in critical care, and there were lots of things going on, and every day was a challenge. It was a terrible time for my family, just a terrible time for my family. Dr. Cooper recommended an intravenous chemotherapy as the treatment for giant cell because I couldn't take the OKT3, for those of you who are familiar with what that is. They were afraid that that would kill me. And it was my 50th birthday, which was September 10, 2001. So my family and my doctors were prepared for the fact that this treatment might not work for me. In other words, that it might kill me because I was too fragile from a state of health standpoint. And they let Jim, my husband, for the only time, to stay in my room, in the chair in my room in CCU overnight. And we woke up the next morning, I survived the night, woke up the next morning, Jim turned on the TV and we watched the planes hit the World Trade Center towers, 168 blocks downtown. They took me for a nuclear test across one of the glass skyways on a stretcher in another one of the hospitals of Columbia Presbyterian, and all of the people were standing silently. I remember I was on a stretcher. Were standing silently watching the two towers burn. This was at 9:30, quarter to 10. When I came back an hour later, both towers were down. In any event, now not only was I in trouble, in serious trouble, but the whole country was too. And it was a very, for lack of a better word, and it doesn't adequately describe it, it's a surreal place to find yourself in life. With now the country at risk, we none of us knew whether or not our country was under attack. In any event, a heart came for me about 4 weeks later, and when I got out of the hospital, I said to my doctor, Dr. Dang, by the way, Kevin, do you know Dr. Dang?
I do, yes.
Yes, he was my physician for 10 years. He's now at UCLA, where Dr. Kevin Quinn is from. I said to my doctor, Dr. Dang, I don't know how to thank you and Dr. Cooper for saving my life. He says, oh, why don't you call Les Cooper? And I said, well, I couldn't possibly. I'm just a regular person. I'm not a doctor. I'm nothing special. I couldn't possibly call the man who's the world's leading expert on giant cell. And he says, yes, you can. Here's his number. So I called Dr. Cooper and I said, Dr. Cooper, if you hadn't been focused on this research, if you hadn't persisted in this research, if you hadn't been successful in this research to find out the treatment, that there was a treatment for giant cell, at least as a bridge to cure, bridge to transplant, not a bridge to cure. But if you hadn't done that, I wouldn't be alive today. I said, what can I do to thank you? And Dr. Cooper said, we need to start a foundation. And our goal right from the get-go, and this is 2001, was to put together a website, a robust website, to put together a board to officially apply for a 501c3 to receive donations, to support myocarditis research, to have a goal of educating physicians and the public about the disease, and then to be a support for families. We accomplished all of those things in the past 7 going on 8 years, and it's one of the very first things that I learned, and this was a very hard thing for me to learn, that no matter how tough this disease was for me to cope with, and for my family, and for my children, and even now with the foundation, the people that we hear from most often are the people who've lost loved ones, people who've lost children, people who've lost grandchildren, people who've lost mothers, people who've lost spouses, people who've lost loved ones. And that I haven't experienced. And it took on a whole new set of meaning for me in terms of having to work harder and longer to find a cure and to find better diagnostics, to find better treatments for this disease so that we could help you. So for all of you who are here today, both as patients and as family members of lost loved ones, having you in front of me is a blessing to me. I'm glad you're here. I hope we can help you. I hope that just by being together we can help you, or just by us giving you some more information and to let you know that we're working hard. We couldn't do it fast enough to help you, but we're going to try to help people of the future, to try to make a difference with this disease. And I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to thank you all for supporting us. God bless you, and you'll hear more from me tomorrow.